You're here for a reason, aren't you? You didn't just stumble upon this boss. This was a deliberate journey, wasn't it? Maybe you were poking around your achievements, noticed a name you didn't recognize and thought, what's this? You googled it, you followed the instructions, and here you are, in the eye of the storm. What are the chances of the average player discovering this boss on their own without external help? Should it be so hidden? Should a boss this epic be left for the player to miss, or is there a crucial piece of the puzzle we've been ignoring more and more each passing year? Of course, a seasoned Souls veteran who's actively scanning each ledge and nook for secrets can absolutely stumble upon this naturally. It truly isn't that hidden if you have a keen eye. But the path they led you down was intentional, all to obscure this. You just escaped a gauntlet of stormhawks, lightning strikes, and even an ancient dragon, conditioned to keep momentum at a mad dash towards your next grace. You crossed this tight narrow bridge across the endless void and came across countless tough enemies awaiting you on the other side. No matter your choice to dispose of them or just sprint past them altogether, there's seemingly only one way forward, up the tower. So when you finally reach the elevator and find your next site of grace, this area is kind of a thing of the past. Once you get up the bridge, your eye is caught by the fog wall. And let's be honest, you don't kill Malekith on your first try. Trial and error, run back after run back, learning to master this boss and its frantic mechanics in 2 phases. FromSoft stun locks you, keeps your mind on a one-track pace to conquering one of the hardest challenges yet. And what happens when you land your killing blow on the Black Blade? After all that, you're back in Leyndell, covered in ash. By now, you've probably clocked in close to 100 hours and are hungry for that grand finale. You've been conditioned to push forward, eyes on the prize. So what's the deal with Placidusax? Players who've stuck with From for a long time have been endlessly trained to slash every wall and think twice about every dead end. On top of that, extra meticulous gamers who made it to the very end of Millicent's questline and acquired the needle can clearly see that the item description leads them to the center of this vortex. These scenarios are likely, as well as those who saw these platforms from other perches along Farum Azula and had it pique their interest. So many factors go into it, but I've watched many blind playthroughs, and something isn't adding up. Elden Ring's Steam page lists 30.4% of players killing Dragon Lord Placidusax, which is more than any of the game's endings, the highest one being Ranni's at 28.5%. Every metric I've seen shows Elden Ring selling about 15 million copies on Steam, so let's do the math together. 4.5 million players have killed Dragon Lord Placidusax. Can you really believe that? Just on PC, 4.5 million players happened upon this esoteric pathway down to the hidden cutscene. We all know Elden Ring is FromSoftware's highest selling game by magnitudes, meaning so many players are brand new to the series. And this is what led me to this analysis. How are so many people finding this boss? Well, the answer's apparent. Google, YouTube thumbnails giving away the surprise, boss tier lists, game reviews, Reddit threads, you name it. And this is a big problem. The beauty of Elden Ring, and every FromSoftware game, is the overwhelming feeling of discovery and accomplishment. You will miss things. You will mess up. You will need to figure things out. This is why they have their meta online system with notes and bloodstains. And yes, you could give the benefit of the doubt that millions of players may have seen the notes, but swaths of gamers are much more oblivious than it seems when you're so insulated in this community. So many people I know alone played Elden Ring as their first Souls game. They didn't interact with these online systems properly. Notes and bloodstains are easy to overlook, especially this deep into the game, possibly feeling burnout from the experience. I love over-exploring as much as the next guy, but you couldn't convince me that the majority of this was natural. Of course, there is no correct way to play any game. You could do whatever you want, however you want. But I really think this modern take on the gaming landscape is killing a core aspect of enjoyment for many people. All over YouTube, I see videos popping up about gaming burnout, losing the spark you once had, and on the contrary, the most popular Elden Ring videos, outside of Vati, are build videos. Fextra made a whole career out of giving information exactly how to min-max every aspect of these games. It all comes down to optimization, and this generation's obsession with it. Everything leads back to this. With the growing gaming industry and people on the internet increasing every single day, the amount of videos on games is astronomical. Souls games were once quite niche, and don't get me wrong, I want nothing more than the success and growth of my favorite game studio. But you lose something alongside that. People love to complain about burnout or the feeling of being overwhelmed when discussing Elden Ring. This should be the last thing you feel. This game's a wonder and a marvel, where every corner is a new discovery. You shouldn't feel burned out. There's no rush. You're allowed to miss content. It's the exact philosophy of the game to begin with. My first video on this channel is all about those hidden places and why they're essential to Elden Ring's beauty. It means so much to me. Imagine the anticlimax of dueling Radagon, knowing the Elden Beast reveal is moments away. Think of the letdown that a Rivers of Blood and Moonveil power stance build, propped up by hours of Albinoric farming, would deliver when you steamroll every obstacle. Why would you want to rob yourself of the childlike wonder that only comes around every few years with a new FromSoft release? Think deeper than optimization, because your experience will be as wide as an ocean and deep as a puddle. You are not expected to intuitively finish every questline. You are not expected to know exactly where the Haligtree hidden medallions are, and you are damn sure not expected to find your way down these stones to fight the Dragon Lord. You could go back, you could replay. New Game Plus is a core function to these experiences. I don't think anyone's too dumb or oblivious to find these things, because From puts so much effort into crafting the ways you could discover them. I'm simply trying to give some advice. If you don't like Elden Ring, that's okay. You don't have to. But have you ever wondered why? Is it the obsession with rushing and optimizing every part of your build? Is it the desire to see and do everything as soon as you're supposed to because your friend happened to find it first? Or is it because a YouTube thumbnail gave away some of the coolest secrets? So here's my advice. Next time you dive into a FromSoftware game, take your time. There's no rush. Explore, experiment, and read the item descriptions. Smack suspicious walls and check out player notes. And more importantly, stop Googling when you get stuck. The experience is meant to be a journey, not a race, and you'll figure it out eventually. You won't be left behind by the internet. And no, you don't need to kill Dragon Lord Placidusax. He will be there forever. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later.